Back to you.
Nick, thank you very much for being on the scene for us. Joining us now, we have CNN law enforcement analyst James Galliano. James, you've been following this all morning. It sounds horrific. It sounds chaotic. I don't know where law enforcement starts when they go in and try to. I mean, the sheriff there was being so circumspect. He wouldn't say who shot whom. He wouldn't say how it all happened because he just doesn't know yet. Where do you start?
The sheriff in Ventura County was very measured and balanced in his words. And first of all, tough and moving to listen to his trying to describe losing somebody that was a workout partner of his, the sheriff's deputy that was killed there. Law enforcement accepts a higher level of risk than all the rest of us. They go to the sound of the guns. It's the hazard of their chosen profession. Still doesn't make it any easier to watch and listen to that. First and foremost, I think the sheriff wanted to make the point that this was not being considered a case of terrorism. Why is that important? Well, if it was, the FBI would have been a lead in this press conference. They would have stepped out in the front.
I couldn't tell.
Well, he said that they did not have any indicia of that at this point. So they are handling this as an active shooter. Now, what would have caused them to think that that could have been a case of terrorism? Something the shooter said, eyewitnesses heard him say something, or they had some type of evidence that they harvested from a home or from a vehicle that he used. And he said at this point, they do not know who this individual is, so impossible to know what his motive was.
You know, there's a lot we don't know. We don't know who killed the shooter. We don't know exactly how many weapons were used. The only weapon they found is a...
How's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. Well, this is breaking news, my royal family. I live in California, but I live in Northern California. And this tragic event is happening in Thousand Oaks, California, which is down in Southern California. And y'all not missing anything because I can backtrack this, but I've been watching this for like the last 2 hours. And they said the shooter, because they lying up here, is either because one of the people identified him during the shooting, said he was tall in a trench coat and he was either white or Mexican. And they trying to avoid that. They already trying to say it ain't terrorism, but 12 so far is dead. A cop got killed in the situation. It's a country western bar and it's surrounded by some colleges, and it's where a lot of students go, because I think they said this bar usually like close around about like 2 or 3 in the morning. And what I was thinking, my royal family, is I was saying to my husband, I said, well, damn. Remember the first of the year, all them damn mass shootings we had the first of the year, and they closing it out like that. And my husband was saying, it's that climate, that energy that Trump brings around, because you know, in America, it's always been racism, but it has its peaks and valleys, and right now it has peaked. It is quite toxic, but you know how I usually start my hangouts, my royal family, starting it out a little bit different, but I always have to give the Creator the utmost respect, and let's not forget our mother too as well. So I want to say a word of prayer real quick. Father Yah, I thank you for your mercy, and I thank you for your grace. And Father Yah, as I pray these prayers, I pray that my prayers are heartfelt, and I pray that my prayers are heard. And I pray, Father Yah, that you continue to protect the royal family in this war. We are literally living in the last seconds, and we fully need your divine hand, Father Yah. And I pray that many, many souls will go to you and you only and stay Yah focused. Amen. And as always, how's the royal family? I pray that everyone is doing well. So anyway, my royal family, I'm going to backtrack here because y'all not going to miss anything. And so let's just get into it. And I'll play it in increments so we can have our discussion too as well. So let's go back here a bit.
cautious, Jim, about not, I mean, they still have to alert the families, he was saying. So they
calls.
Let's see here. Let's see if I can get it going. All right, let me refresh this. Okay, let me see.
The shooter is confined to within the facility.
Let me play these little clips here so y'all can get a little glimpse of some things here that y'all may see, because the live just gonna keep saying the repetitive thing. This is important here. This video here is about 3 minutes. Let's check this out.
So there is no threat to the general public outside the bar and grill. I don't know what the status of the shooter is, if he's been captured or if he's been neutralized. But what I can tell you is, we don't feel that he's out of the bar and grill.
What about weapons? Have you determined what he brought inside? We've got smoke bombs, we've got guns. What do you know?
I know only of the guns. I've heard of the smoke bombs by being at the presser earlier. A reporter mentioned that, but I don't know that.
So 11 shot, you know that?
How many died?
I don't have the status of any of their injuries. I don't have the status of the deputy.
Is the location cleared now? Is the location cleared? We heard there might be people in the attic.
We have deputies going through it now. My understanding is that there is. I didn't know about people hiding that. I haven't heard that at all.
So he's starting to he's in your rank.
It's KUREJIAN. My first name is Garo, Garo.
So, Sarah, was one of your colleagues injured or killed tonight? We understood a deputy or someone in law enforcement being battered.
A deputy was shot. I don't know what his condition is.
Which agency?
With the Ventura County Sheriff's Office.
Were they responding to the scene, or?
Yes, they were responding to the scene.
Was it someone that engaged the suspect?
I don't know that, but I assume so, but I don't know that.
The other thing was about security guard and then the security guard in the scene?
I don't have information on any of those other than the deputy that was injured. That's all that I
You don't have any conditions on any of the victims, is that right?
I don't have any conditions on any of the
11
victims.
total right now that we know of.
Yes.
Are you expecting that number to grow?
I would guess, if anything, that number would go up. These are, again, like I said earlier, they're preliminary numbers. I wanted to give you guys numbers as opposed to saying several. And that number could, just like when I said earlier, 6, that number's gone up to 11. That number could change, and that's all that I can say at this point. I don't have that information. I don't know of anyone that is deceased or not transported.
As far as you know,
So this is where they was being very vague. But let's just listen. I want y'all to listen to this particular person right here.
He fired the first shot, and I knew it was live. I knew it was real. And my son thought it was a joke. So I pulled him down and got some behind cover. I looked up, and he was moving to the right. He shot the front doorman, bouncer. Well, you're just a young man. And he shot the cashier. Just a young girl.
I did just see in that footage there. I seen in that footage there. I did see a sister on crutches. It's always some of us to be mingling around in these people. Cause see, Thousand Oaks, cause you know we all over the United States. Thousand Oaks is a predominantly white area, but you know you gonna always see some of us sprinkle in, and many of us, including myself, have been warning the royal family, and we need to warn our individual family members and friends and stuff. We gotta stay out of these people's way. This shit is real. We are literally in the last seconds, and the Esau cannot face their impending doom. See, we our captivity is over with, my royal family. The 6,000 years is over with. And I was saying to KD, I was chipping off of the precision. Esau, literally every single day, they should be on their knees thanking Yah because they on borrowed time. So this is where you see in the opiate use, where they want to go out in a blaze of glory, but see, they'll hold our feet to the fire and they'll want us to deal with reality and stuff. Like I said, they did us a favor, my royal family, with they starved us out, and what they were supposed to do was fatten us up to the kill, and we would be lazy, but we sharp. We don't get all out of shape when they say, it's like they'll say, well, the economy is up or the economy is down. Shit, I don't know the difference. All I know is we got to survive, because in my world, we don't be tripping off of that. You know what I'm saying? So that's a phantom to me. I just wanted to throw that in. Are you up here, KD? Yet?
How you doing this morning?
All right. So before I play this live, is there anything you want to add? And before you add that, what I was saying is, I don't know if you came in and heard it at first, what I was tripping off of when I was sitting there watching this go down was, I was like, damn. I said, so they're gonna close out the year in a blaze of glory. Because remember how the first of the year started with all them damn mass shootings?
Yes.
We had quite a few. If anybody could help me with that and check that out, if you feel like it. If not, I ain't tripping. I was just curious how many mass shootings that we had the first of the year, because I remember it was like, damn, we're gonna start out like that. And then remember, this is we're staging in retrograde. We're staging. And it hits direct on the 17th, and it's a lot of chaotic shit popping off. It never ceased to amaze me during this retrograde phase. It's expected. I'm telling you, the way I'm looking at retrograde, we can use it to our advantage, because a lot of people fear it. No way. So go ahead, KD.
Well, as we all see here, I'm kind of happy that they're killing each other like this in mass killings. Even though in the election, I honestly think that feminist Becky made her voice heard a little bit. But back to this killing, I'm just glad that some of the curses are really starting to reverse on them. And it's time for them to see what it felt like when we were demonized.
Mm-hmm. That's true. It also makes me think of, remember I was talking about the other day where they have taken the Bible, they didn't took out books, they didn't destroyed books, they didn't hide books, they didn't did all type of stuff, desecrated it. They even said in the good book that that's what the enemy was going to do. So they sitting there reading it, and they seeing exactly what they going to get. And that would wig me out, that something was written thousands of years ago and I'm destroying it, and it's saying my name verbatim and saying, I knew on this day you was going to do that. You would think that person would take heed of that, because that would straighten me up real quick. But I have to remind myself the nature of Esau. I have to keep, we need to keep reminding each other this is their nature. And then in just my shorter time learning who I'm truly is. And I thank the royal family, because I earnestly didn't know. I knew we were chosen. I was explaining to my husband the way that they're interpreting the word is like, if you become an unquote Christian, then you're pretty much chosen. And this is how they're going to come at these Christians. And I was telling my husband, nope, that was directly for us. That's where the confusion come in, and a lot of us, when we get into this unquote religion thing, I always ask this: what religion is Yah? Yah is not a religion. So anyway, as I'm rambling on, let's go over here and watch some of this. And let's get caught up on what's going on. And then you can speak after that, KD. Let's see here. Let's see. They got to say.
When additional units arrived, including squad personnel, Agencies from the Oxnard Police Department, the Simi Valley Police Department, the Ventura Police Department, and additional officers from the Highway Patrol. They made entry into the Borderline Bar and Grill. They found 11 victims that had been killed. The suspect, who we believe was the only suspect, was dead inside. And there were multiple other victims of different levels of injury inside that were rescued from the scene and taken to local hospitals. In addition to the victims inside, and the numbers are upwards of 10 to 12, additional victims with minor injuries fled the scene on their own and took themselves to local hospitals.
Yep. You know what I was also thinking of, KD, before I play the next video? We had a shooting about 2 days ago at a yoga studio. Did you hear about that, KD?
No, I did not. I did not, Royal Queen.
I think it was like maybe 3 days ago. This white boy goes into one of these yoga studios and killed 2 white women. He pistol whipped somebody, and he in there this jacket. And I'm thinking, it's a whole bunch of people in this yoga studio. Jump that motherfucker. I'm not gonna sit there and be no fucking victim. You know, when you're dealing with a criminal, you don't be polite. You know, and women are trained to be polite. And I'm telling my queen something. If you encounter somebody trying to violate you, and they you don't cooperate with a criminal, you know, if they break into your place and trying to put you in different rooms, they planning to rape you. That's what they planning to do. They'll come in there and rob you. But if they separate you and put you in another room, and we think that if we fully cooperate and be nice to the person that's the criminal, then they won't do anything. No, you don't be nice. No, and don't holler for help. You holler for fire. Because, you know, nobody don't want to help you, but nobody don't want their shit burned down. Break your window out. Piss on yourself. Shit on yourself. Act demonic, but fucking live. You do what the fuck you gotta do. Don't ever, 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 ever cooperate with a criminal. And I taught my children that. Holler fire. Take a chair, throw it through the window. You create drama, because if somebody pull a gun on you and say, get in the car, once you in the car, they got you. No, you're going to shoot my ass in the street. So we got to start telling each other this shit, because we're dealing with the enemy and we don't cooperate with nobody that's violating us. And another thing, I heard a criminal say this on TV. And this shit even happened to my girlfriend. Women, we do our business in the car. It's like we'll go to the store, go to the bank and shit like that. We be dealing with our money thinking we safe, and criminals know that. And it happened to my girlfriend in the 80s. This black couple ran up on her and him while she had her baby, and she in there, you know, dealing with her money in the car and shit. And they know these things about us. No, when you do your transaction, you get your ass in the car and you go. You don't sit there and be a stool pigeon, because we being watched. And we should all know by now how much we are being watched. All these damn phone calls and all this stuff. We are truly in a war, and that's our duty and responsibilities to put a whole lot on it. I don't give a damn about hurting nobody's feelings and shit and stuff like that, because I want my family to live. I want my family to live, and then I want my extended royal family to live. And this is pertinent because this motherfucker is deranged. I'm telling you, they deranged, and they jealous of us because they know we're gonna have everlasting life. And so the ultimate goal of the enemy is to take as many of them to hell, where we have everlasting damnation in hell. Everlasting. Think about that shit. So we don't partake in any of this stuff. This shit is serious. I just had to get that out. But let's get into this a little bit more and see what they got going. See if we can get anything here. No, that is not it. All right. Be patient here. Yeah, when something hit me like that, I had to get that shit out. Okay, not this one.
When additional units arrived, including SWAT personnel.
Not this one, family. We're going to get into it deeper. Okay, we dealt with him. Okay. Let's see here. Nope, not that one. Let me backtrack. KD, as I'm pulling this up, if there anything you want to say to the family, go ahead, because I got to reset this shit.
When you combine the Edomite gender war through the elections earlier this week, you combine these shootings, and then you add on top of that the retrograde. We're really gonna see these Edomites really implode in mass epic proportions. Now, I'm not going to say super epic, but they're going to implode in some type of way. Because now they're setting up the Edomite gender war, obviously through politics, in my opinion. But now, combined with these mass shootings, combined with these opiates, I think we're really going to see a mini implosion among our enemy.
Yeah. Let me see here. Let's see what we got here. I'm listening to you, KD. Let me see what we got here.
So, your call center deals with millions of customers, like this one.
No, I'm pretty sure I didn't order a squirrel playing a guitar.
That's why you work with Watson. It's trained to work with your systems to improve customer satisfaction. When you need the best AI for the job, choose Watson.
Eddie says, making sure that they come together tonight, guys.
And Jonathan, as you mentioned, it was college night, and we saw earlier that prayer vigil of so many young people that were there just going out to have some fun, you know? And they're praying, they're trying to find some sort of understanding and hope in this tragedy that hit so close to home. Many of these students, as you mentioned, were from Cal Lutheran, Pepperdine, Channel Island. You have been to this bar. This is a very popular bar that many people come from across Los Angeles to go to this bar.
You know, I had people texting me all morning saying, you know, Jonathan, we used to go to that bar and we used to go hang out. People come from, like you said, not only Ventura County, people from LA County come from long distances to come to this place, and it's a fun, special place normally. And so, you know, someone said it earlier, Danielle and Adrian, when I was talking to someone, and they said, how could you even imagine 18 to 22-year-olds, the night where it's the busiest usually during the week, college night, mostly 18 to 22-year-olds in there. Why them? Why would you choose young people to shoot at random and do this?
Why?
And of course,
let's freeze that.
Why all morning?
Tell us, and KD could tell us that. They asking why, KD, why this is happening to Esau and them. They really living in a fantasy ass world. You know what I'm saying? Why? And you know what? Before you say anything, KD,
I don't even know why. The dumb question.
You know what I was just thinking? Didn't Lisa put up a video either this week or last week where the budget for domestic terrorism, Trump didn't see that wasn't even necessary. And even Jeff Greasy Session, he even did some shit related to that wasn't necessary. And with Jeff Sessions' ultimate goal was to give the police force even more power, and also encouraging to double down on us. And basically, they don't need money for unquote sensitivity training. And even people to be victimized by law enforcement, that would be coming out of that. So they you know, it's so many of them been sued throughout the United States that, and I think in Baltimore there's a cap. You can't go over 3 million because they've been sued so much. But you see how this shit is biting them in they ass. Because really, and I have to agree with Don Lemon, the issue in America is the deranged white male. You know, He don't it's like my aunt pointed something out to me. When you hear a child hollering and screaming in the store, 9 times out of 10 is a little snot-nosed ass white kid and stuff. And they don't understand no. And they get out in this world and somebody's subject to slap the shit out of them and say, we ain't putting up with your shit. And so they in there having a temper tantrum and shit like that. And they terrorizing America. And this is karma. Look how swift this is. This shit didn't happen months and months. This happened like within a few short weeks, literally down to a few short days that we are seeing an influx. And it's always been there, but you know, having this type of technology that we have, and we're seeing it more. The church was the synagogue was just shot up, and then some other stuff happened, and it ain't going to go away. What I'm looking at, my royal family, is Esau is not on code, and they'll never ever be on code. They systematically they're not in harmony with each other, and harmony does not always mean positive, because they in harmony to always do negative, and they not in code no more, because we always talking about, oh, they in code. And how I came to that conclusion with the research I've been doing, listening to other people's videos, and I'm talking about they off code, and they'll never be able, they don't know how to get back on code. They don't even know what do you do, because they've been put up on a pedestal. You can't tell them no. They got a silver spoon in their mouth, and Trump embodies that. I mean, that bitch yesterday had his lip out because I guess he figured all the Republican Party was supposed to win everything, you know, because the Democrats they dominate the House, but that shit don't even mean anything to us, because they won in the same, you know, we already understand about that. And I strictly been looking at everything with my spiritual eyes, with using my spiritual ears and feeling. That's why I don't do videos every day, because I partake what's going on in society, and to remain authentic, I'm reacting just like y'all. It's like, well, damn, and stuff. And I'm just looking again at the precision of the divine hand. Go ahead, Katie.
And to pretty much respond to what you just said, Psalm 68:3 pretty much explains their wicked and evil nature. They were wicked and evil from the womb. And to respond further to what you just said, in regard into the word and everything, of course they read the word and had to split it up. If it was really for everybody, why did it have to split it up? That just tells me right there that it wasn't for everybody. Now, in regards to Trump and everything, I think this whole Edomite gender war is gonna start through politics on down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because look at who's gonna be the Speaker of the House, a woman.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is with that is, you know, I was saying the other day that the committee that they had put together it was all this show and dog and pony show for that guy that went to the Supreme Court. You know, most of them people up there was in their 80s, Feinstein in her 80s, Nancy Pelosi in her 80s. I'm like, damn, they don't need to be working no more. You know, you in your 80s and you still, you know, it's but they just gonna drop dead. See, they power hungry. That's which is
why I was upset with the three candidates that look like us. Like, why the hell are they running? We all know that these Edomites are clinging to their power. Their power is deteriorating all over the world. Just look at the situation with the dollar. It is being dropped around the world. And we all know damn well that is their power structure, whether folks like to see it or not. That is their power structure. And it's crumbling around the world. And that's why I got pissed at those three candidates. Like, they should have not ran at all. Let the damn enemy save their own crumbling system.
Yeah, we're holding it up. Hold it for just a second. I just got a donation from somebody that I've never seen on my channel before. Spark LITD. He donated $99.99, basically $100 to this channel. Thank you so very much. I am not used to taking donations. I'm the one that always give donations in the royal family. I think it was last year or 2 years ago, literally jumped my ass and said, I got to put something up. And yeah, I got a Patreon, I got a GoFund, I got a PayPal, but I don't speak on it. And all those different accounts that I have, 10% of any money that I get from each account that I have goes to my girlfriend's daycare center, because I like how she prepare the royals before they start kindergarten. They're out doing projects, nature walks, all kind of stuff. And then also I don't need any more equipment or nothing like that. I'm kind of speaking in code with this. I give Jazzy Rowe a donation every month to get her back on her feet, to help her pay her medical bills. And she also has to pay those loans back too as well, going through what she was going through. Once she goes back to college next year, she won't have to deal with that. And then also what YouTubers do behind the scenes is any up and coming YouTuber that look like YouTuber that's really got that fire, we will donate money to them. We will share some of our equipment with them. And this is some of the things that y'all don't know behind the scenes. So people who've been generous to donate to this channel, that's what I've been using the funds for. I've been giving back to the community, and I just set up because I got to submit it tomorrow, the second batch of t-shirts that's coming out from the True Royal family. I'm not trying to sell no damn shirts. I don't have the patience for it. I don't give a damn. That's just not my cup of tea, trying to sell t-shirts and stuff. So periodically throughout the year, I'm going to be sending out batches of shirts, because I think the next batch I'm probably sending out like about 40 to 50 shirts. I just wanted to put that out. And then also with the donations, y'all helped me secure a trademark for the True Royal family. And I think I had mentioned that about like that stuff that's going on with Candace. It was just necessary to say that. It's overwhelming to me because it's hard for me to accept stuff, but I'm learning how. And but we just giving back to the community. Like I said, I ain't trying to make a living on this. I'm on a whole different another mission, trying to get information to the family, but it is greatly appreciated.
Well, look at what you're doing, Royal Queen. I mean, you're providing, great information for the family. That's the real reason they donate, and they really love you.
Well, I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. So let's play a little bit more of this, see what he's talking about.
Let's be honest about it.
Which we don't have.
Yeah.
Which we don't have.
The traffic collisions that he has to show up on. He's played a role in very different parts of the
Damn, it's 13 dead now, Katie.
Working for narcotics.
Damn.
So over that whole 29-year span, there's been a lot that he's been involved in, certainly touched a lot of lives here in the community, here in the Thousand Oaks and certainly around Ventura County.
All right.
If they're all Edomites, great.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Right now, we want to hear from some of the witnesses, I believe, who were there at the time. Our crews were able to speak with them just in those moments.
Damn, look at this shit.
Broke out in Moore Park. This was right around 11:20, and you're looking at some really dramatic images. It was just such a chaotic situation and such a tragic situation that played out overnight.
Were just trampling on top of each other, trying to survive this person who went in and just started randomly shooting at innocent people who were inside this bar. Let's listen to some of those witnesses and what they said.
All we did was just kind of sit there and wait and just kind of play Doug, I guess. And just sat there and waited until the sheriffs came out. Just hoping that we could get out and looking for all of our friends.
Fuck your tears. What about us?
I heard the shots and I just...
I'm going to stop for just a minute. I'm not going to say your name on my channel because I never seen you on my channel before. You said you love my content, but the mush mouth needs to go. I'm going to stay authentic to myself. If you don't like my mouth, I strongly suggest that you go to another channel. I cannot please everybody on this channel, and I'm not a phony person, and that is the way that I speak. So if it bothers you that I cuss on my channel, you need to go to another channel, because on the True Royal Family, I don't belittle my kings. I don't belittle my queens. Yeah, I cuss like a sailor, but this channel ain't a channel that we bash anybody over here, but I'm not going to change for nobody, because I didn't try to do that. You're not going to make people happy here. So I strongly suggest that you go to another channel and keep it moving and stuff. So I can't appease everyone. So let's continue on.
Out, running around. I just told her to get down, get out. Let's just move. We need to get out of here before, you know, anything gets happened. We don't know where he's coming from, where the shots were, or anything. So that's all. I mean, that's all we just try to do is try to get ourselves out safe, and then try to get everyone else safe out.
A friend of his was there. Said, "You ready?" He says, "I'll be right behind you. We're gonna finish this game of pool." Got home. For whatever reason, he found out about it through social media or the news or whomever, and him and his dad came to our house and banging on, concerned. So we've been trying to get a hold of 1 o'clock.
In addition to the victims inside are upwards of 10 to 12 additional victims with minor injuries, fled the scene on their own, and took themselves to local hospitals.
We thought it was a joke. Seriously, at first it's kind of like you freeze because it sounded like firecrackers, and you kind of just, like, everyone just dropped down to the floor, and then
let me stop that right there. See, there's one right there. You see her? You see her? Sound like them, acting like them, and when you continue to be around them, your ass gonna get shot up hanging around these motherfuckers. We done told y'all. We done told y'all. You see that shit? You see
they won't listen. They won't listen, bro. They will not listen.
And we're gonna get to the point we ain't gonna tell you no more, because this shit is real. This ain't no plaything. This ain't no plaything. You hang out with these people, you subject to get killed, man. This shit is real out here. Real. And she's sitting up here. She got no business with them people.
Oh, but let's unite with everybody. Everybody's a human. No, they're not. We're the only humans around. Get the hell away from there, sister.
You know what, Spark? You know what? I be reading so much, because you say you always leave comments. It's like a blur to me, with me doing the research, with me answering the emails, with me looking at the comments. Then I'm trying to support other channels. I try to give love back. I'm not trying to ignore anybody, but on this small channel, it's a lot. It is a whole lot and stuff. Because I was telling KD that eventually I'm gonna have to have somebody manage my emails. It's just overwhelming, and people feel slighted because they think you're ignoring them. It's just the volumes that come in. Then I'm dealing with trolls and getting called nigga every day and trying to take that down. And this is just a little tiny channel. So just wanted to put that out there too. Let's continue on a little bit more on this.
It was on that. And our friends got the bar stools and they started slamming it against the window so we could get out. That's how we were able to get out. They broke the window. They broke the window. Get out.
They're scared. I mean, we're scared. I lost 2 friends, and I know the sergeant that was taken tonight, and I know a lot of the police officers in this town, and it's treacherous.
And these are just witnesses, few of the witnesses that we have heard. You can see all the emotion, that raw emotion of people who are just in complete shock, went to play pool, went to have a drink with their friends, never imagined that they would be in this situation.
Just having fun with their friends on a Wednesday night. You could hear that emotion and see that emotion in that survivor there. Again, the chaos. We heard from a survivor just a short time ago. He sees the gunman, point the gun at him, start opening fire in the crowd around him. He hits the deck, hits the ground, and he's just waiting for that moment, for that second when it stops. And once it does stop, while the gunman reloads to open fire once again, that's when he makes a run for it, runs to the kitchen. And
let me stop for a second. My king, this happened at 11 o'clock tonight, and this is in Southern California. So everything is fluid. And since we've been talking, another person has passed. So far, 13 people have been killed. One police officer was killed in this. This is at a country western bar. They said it's a very big bar, and they do a bunch of dancing in there and all of that. And a lot of college students go there. But anytime you hear the word Thousand Oaks, that is a white district in Southern California.
Survivor there, you had people taking bar stools and smashing windows so they can climb out, and complete strangers actually coming in from the outside trying to help the people out of the windows.
And that's the one thing that we have heard from witnesses and from victims when shootings like this happen, just like the one in Las Vegas and the movie theaters and in schools. When you are in this situation, the thought runs to your mind, do I go or do I stay and help or do I run? But, you know, law enforcement tells you that if you are in this situation, an active shooter, you try to escape. And if you have to stay, then you try to hide, you know, and at that point, it's all survival. And many people have had, you know, that guilt feeling that they didn't go in to help. But when you're in that situation, you don't know what's going to happen, you know, when that gun is going to point at you. And so many of the people that live through this, it's a very traumatic experience that stays with them for years and years to come.
Yeah, and you know, we heard from Tyler there a short time ago, a Moore Park College student. That's exactly what he said. It was just about survival.
Let me stop it.
And
Diva Queen Lopez, how far is that from you? Because I know it's pretty big down there. I'm gonna look up and see what more information we can get from other outlets. You got anything to say, Katie?
I keep seeing all those tears and all that. The hell with their tears. Where the hell was our tears when our people was killed? When our people was fed to alligators? When our people was still getting hung around nooses? So I say this, the hell with their tears. And all the Edomites that got killed, including the sergeant and the gunman, I say great news.
You know what this make me think? What keeps ringing in my head? What did Malcolm X say? What's that famous statement that he said? The chicken
necessary?
No, the chickens are coming home to roost. And I remember my father, before he passed, my father said, they go to our neighborhoods and literally shit in our neighborhoods and go on home. You know, just terrorizing our neighborhoods. And my dad said, that shit gonna show up in their backyard. I remember him saying that, and it just, you know how somebody make a statement and it just stick with you, you know? And that's what's going on.
And to spiritually back what Malcolm X said, these are the curses of Obadiah and Deuteronomy being forced on them now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got something here. So the only difference is one more person than died. Let's see if we can get this going. At least 12 people have been killed, around a dozen more injured in a mass shooting at a bar in Thousand Oaks, California. Police have said a sheriff sergeant died after being shot, and the gunman was found dead inside the Borderline Bar and Grill, Ventura County. Sheriff, whatever his last name is Dean. I can't pronounce his first name. Confirmed. At least 30 shots were fired, police told Los Angeles Times. Witnesses said a man fired several shots from a handgun before throwing smoke bombs into the crowded bar. A man who said he was in the bar told ABC News he saw a man shoot into the crowd. Well, damn, if this person threw a smoke bomb in there, that was definitely premeditated. It sound like this person had some military training. KD, don't it?
Oh yeah, yes it does.
When the officers made entry, the suspect was already deceased. There were 11 victims. I will not count the suspect as a victim, the suspect, and then Sergeant Helis.
So 11 victims.
11 victims. The suspect makes 12, and Sergeant Helis makes 13.
Fuck all of them, by the way.
For 29 years, was looking to retire in the next year or so. He was a Moore Park resident and is survived by his wife and his son. It's a horrific scene in there. There is blood everywhere, and the suspect.
Okay, I had to stop again because some people are new to the True Royal family. Yes, some of the words I cannot pronounce. I'm dyslexic, but that don't stop me. I'm not the greatest reader in the world, and anybody that's been with me day one knows it. So I ain't gonna sit up here in front and act like I'm a scholar, but I comprehend very well. If you don't want to be on this channel, just get off and you can go somebody's channel that read better than me, can pronounce the words better than me, and all of that and stuff. And there's many of us like that, but I'm not gonna let that stop me. And I'm tired of telling people that I'm dyslexic. Eventually, I ain't gonna say it no more. So let's keep it moving.
Is part of that, and I didn't want to get that close and disturb the scene and possibly jeopardize the investigation.
All right. Okay, let's go on to, I'm looking for this press conference. You're just showing these damn pictures. Okay, let's go over here because I did see something here that we could possibly see. It's like pulling teeth fine and shit. Damn, 58 people was killed in that. I was looking here, 58. Damn, I didn't realize there was 58 people killed in that mass shooting. That is crazy. That is crazy mad, man.
And if they're all Edomites, I consider that more great news.
Mm-hmm. See what we have. See if we can get it live. Oops. Damn, it's so dark in here. Can't even see the keyboards. There we go. Trying to get it live. Trying to get it live. Bear with me, family. Usually,
often there's a lot of
there
smoke,
it
and
is.
in the confusion, people may have thought that they've seen that. So the sheriff spoke much earlier, about an hour ago or so, and he answered some questions. We want to play that for you now with Sheriff Jeff Dean from Ventura County.
I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. Well, Sergeant Hills died at the. The sergeant passed away at the hospital about an hour. I only mentioned might be terrorists because that's where we all go these days. We have multiple shootings like this. There's no reason for it. And we have this horrific death. I have nothing to lead me to believe or the FBI that there is any terrorism link here, but we certainly will look at that option. I'm sorry? What do you mean by devices?
Reports that there was people thought there were smoke bombs that were going on.
There's some initial reports that a smoke bomb might have been used. We have not done anything yet. We have called in our bomb team to go in through. We have a couple bomb dogs here that are checking the area, but we haven't found any other explosive device or confirmation that there was a smoke device.
What does that make you think if there was a smoke?
hindsight and speculation is pretty easy. You would think if someone throws a smoke device, it was certainly more of a planned attack and not something spontaneous. Sergeant Hillis was on the force for 29 years, was looking to retire in the next year or so. He was a Moore Park resident and is survived by his wife and his son. Ron Helus, Helus. Well, the question is, Thousand Oaks, the Safe Committee, what do I make of this? I make it that it's a horrific incident. It's part of the horrors that are happening in our country and everywhere. And I think it's impossible to put any logic or any sense to the senseless.
How did the suspect shoot it out with officers, or did he take his own life?
When the officers made entry, the suspect was already deceased. There were 11 victims. I will not count the suspect as a victim, the suspect, and then Sergeant Helus.
So 11 victims.
11 victims, the suspect, 12, and Sergeant Hillis makes 13. No, we have not.
What about the weapon?
We have not found any type of assault rifle inside the location. The only weapon we have found that we believe was used was a handgun, but it's still early on and we haven't gone through the scene in detail yet.
Sheriff, do you believe the gunman died of his own hand?
It would appear that way, but it's certainly well too early to know if he actually did take his own life. Well, certainly, we have to wait for the medical examiner to get here. We have to do family notification. So, candidly, it'll be hours and hours.
Do you know if the suspect has visited this bar before?
We don't know anything about the suspect. We haven't talked to anybody that had any contact with him prior. I actually have no idea who he is. We don't know anything about him yet.
What about the ages of the victims?
I actually don't know what the ages were. It is a nightclub, so I would.
Damn. Well, what the fuck do you know? Damn. You know what I'm saying? Damn. You don't know shit.
Oh, but wait a minute, Royal Queen. We're supposed to respect these people because of their high IQ.
Yeah, they're supposed to be professionals. They all crack, they voice all cracking, and then what? For the next 2 weeks, we gotta you know how the game go. Anytime it's something tragic, them funds is already getting thrown up because they're gonna profit from that. They're just gonna be on TV for 2 weeks and all that, and then I can hear the violins playing in the back and stuff, and it's like they just mechanical with it and shit. And then see when it's their pain, look at them like I got a freeze. Then it's all about them, and that's all they do. See, while the spotlight is on them and they in the state of pain, they still subjugating us. Isn't that ironic?
Funny thing is, they can subjugate all they want, but the fact is, their own kind is dying off.
Mm-hmm. But it just gets me how they can just be core nasty, and then that divine hand come down on them, and it's they mealy mouth, don't know nothing, act weak will and stuff. And when I was telling me and my husband was watching this when it first stopped off this morning, he said, well, look how Trump was acting yesterday. He was salty, he was nasty to everyone, he was just pouting like a fucking bitch. And he said, Trump, get out there and speak. And he said, now I'm seeing a pattern. Then somebody go off with their gun and stuff. Because really, basically what they're saying is they just want to have free range to walk up and down the street, call you a sack of niggas all day. They can violate us, sexually, all the stuff that they've been doing to us. And that's why I did that video last week about pretending. And you got one group of white folks like they just appalled at the words that Trump are spewing and stuff. And we didn't come from that and all that kind of stuff. No, The other group, the group, they being they being phony. Trump and them is being real with this. They racism. You know, fuck the pretend game. See, that's what white supremacy also is about. They want, you know, it's like we all in one room together. I always use this analogy. We all in one room together talking. I'm lying through my teeth. Y'all know I'm lying through my teeth. We all lying through each other's teeth. And in my psyche, it just don't add up. We all lying. We all know we lying, but we continue to socialize with each other and just lie. Or let's take it like this. Just your immediate family, you know, your kids lying, your old man lying, your old lady lying, your grandmama lying. And it's like, what kind of fucking shit is that? That fucks with my head. You know, we look each other in the eye when we talk. We don't play that shit. But that's what it's all about. It's pretend. Let's play this pretend game. You know, like this is the land of milk and honey. I don't understand why this is going on. You know exactly why this shit is going on and stuff.
And what is all this have in common? They're really scrambling to protect their empire, which is dying day by day. And I really think that through the political process, Trump is finished. Feminist Becky is gonna have her way through Pelosi. Now they got Pelosi and Trump. I'm telling you, it's gonna be an Edomite gender war starting with them. Just watch.
So what I was saying is they want to, you know, when these things happen and it's their own continuing to terrorize, white males are terrorizing America. White females are terrorizing in America. And they want to say, well, what's going on? And this is bizarre. I listen to these words very close. And then they get into the mental health stuff. We already know what y'all gonna do before y'all do it. So it's like, let's just all pretend. No more pretending. You know, show that shit. Show who you is. Show your ass.
I'm just gonna put this in plain terms. They're finished. That's what it is.
Yeah, they are finished. And we gotta stay out their way. And then you see them little Beckies, you know how they gonna play that shit up. They're gonna bust out in them tears, collapse, and all that stuff. Got some little sister, her parents then made a little extra money, so they living up in the suburbs, and she thinks she's a part of that kind of stuff. Man, you see the
third word of Michael P. King after arising ye, what we're supposed to do, depart, which means separate.
And so that's that we are suffering. I was talking to my son about this, Katie. Very thing that we're talking about. Our bloodline, our royal bloodline. And we did not protect our bloodline. Well, first and foremost, we were violated. And that gets to the psyche. But we are not protecting our bloodline. We're not protecting our DNA and having a more favorable outcome. And like I said, I got to get back on that series about our temple, which is our body. Remember, they said we are a peculiar group of people. So we don't supposed to mirror the system. We don't partake in the system, even though there's things that we have to do in the system. It's like you got to do what you got to do, but you pull yourself out of that and stay in your comfort zone, because this shit right here is going to fully increase and it's going to be totally out of control because they can't deal with the ending. So we know our ending. I keep going back to that. And that came from Big Judah. And when I listened to that video a couple of times, it's like some of the shit I said to myself, because I always do the self-assessment of self. I don't need to be doing that. That's unnecessary. We know our ending. And they can't stand that because it's not a favorable outcome for them.
And you know why we're not supposed to be mixing and mingling with them? Because the Father chose us as his special people. So when he chose us as his special people, why the hell are we sitting and going out of our way mixing and mingling with peasants?
That's how we've been conditioned. You know, that goes back to being affected by the system. Now, once you have, because, you know, some people are waking up and you wake up in different states, like I talk about. Once you realize, wow, I've been in snow country way too long, and you're discovering these things about yourself, and you realize you're being affected by the system. Once you consciously know anything that maybe you had misconceptions about, once you fully get the full truth, then you have to take on the responsibility for gaining that knowledge. You know, okay, yeah, I can bitch all day and say I'm affected by the system, but what am I doing now? Or I can just stay in victim mode and just keep hollering, I'm affected by the system, you know, and that ain't benefiting our families at all. Because what has happened in America is the royal family has become a group of separatists, and it works very well in their favor that we are separatists. But there's that but factor that I talk about. Now as I continue to study, I'm learning and understanding also why the Creator put us on four corners of the earth, because if he would have had all of us together, that would have made it much easier for the enemy to try to eliminate us. So in their psyche, it fucks with them while they continue to subjugate us and do all these horrific things. They know we somewhere here on this planet. You can't wipe us out. You can't wipe us out. We're not going nowhere, you know.
And here's the hidden benefit of staying on code. When we stay on code, we activate our royalty. We activate our royal nature.
And that goes back to the peer pressure. Peer pressure doesn't necessarily have to be negative, but it's like, I don't want to let y'all down, but I'm not going to try to come off phony. And you know how some people just be trying to be perfect and they not even fully embracing their nature. They just, you know, they putting up a facade. So it's like when I started doing these videos, I immediately let the royal family know, just letting you know, ain't the best reader. I'm gonna be choppy. I got good understanding. Ain't the best speller, and so you'll know who I am. You know, it's not like, oh, because see, people that's usually dyslexic, they hide it. They hide it. Well, the royal family ain't dumb. They'll pick up on some stuff, and you have. And I'm saying this for a reason, because I've had people behind the scenes come to me and say they want to put up a channel and they dyslexic. It's like exercising. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep pushing, and then put that to the side. And that's what you have to do in this war. You got to survive. When I told my son last night, if a cop pull you over, that ain't the time to be judge and jury right there. Be happy to take that motherfucking ticket and go. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got one of them want to be John Wayne and stuff. And see, we have the ability to outthink the enemy, because think about it. When we came here, when we was from Akibalan, even though we are indigenous to the whole world, we had never encountered such a people like this. They smell like a wet dog. They ate swine and you know, horrific smells. And then we seen how deranged they was, and we out there in them fields. So we would talk with that slang. You could barely understand it. You know, it was very degrading, but it was all about surviving. And thing that they would do is say, you know, they would always talk about, oh, there's some, you know, you can be on a plantation with some good white folks. And then so say, you know, always had the cooks. Okay, the black woman in there cooking, she got children, and then the unquote master say, oh boy, look at your son there. He about 15, 16. He becoming a grown man. He big and strapping. And so the mother say, oh, he ain't nothing but a lazy fool, massa. He don't know nothing. and all stuff like that. But really what she's doing is she's trying to prevent her son from being sold off. And we have carried over dysfunctional behaviors. Just look at your own individual family, and each family got something to just drive you up the wall, and maybe some shit about you to drive them up the wall. Where I'm coming from with this, KD?
I'm just to say something about your dyslexia. I don't think it's a curse at all. I really think it's a gift. Even I have a quote unquote learning disability, and I turned it around in my favor, because what the other side is saying is that the other side of it is we haven't been fully affected by this so-called educational system. We had to be forced to think outside the box, and I think that is to both of our advantages, World Queen.
Yeah, it does work to my advantage, because some of the stuff that I be looking up, because I even be saying, how the hell did I find that? And the ultimate thing is it's about just staying authentic, and
yeah, and the thing is, Royal Queen, what if you weren't dyslexic? You would have been fully brainwashed by the educational system, and I may have as well. And I think that's a gift.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. Let's listen to some more of this.
Speculate they were probably in the.
Really don't know anything about the shooter. There was really nothing known at this point about the motive. There really are no answers here at all to speak of. And that's making it, I think, a little bit tougher for people as they try to make sense of this, which perhaps they'll never be able to in the long run. There are no immediate answers. And that's tough, considering that some folks here just lost a lot of friends in this terrible shooting tonight.
Yeah, Chris, and something we were talking about a little earlier, that whilst at this moment we don't have those answers, my guess is that over the course of the next couple hours, you and other of our colleagues will have some answers to the questions that a lot of people are going to be having as they wake up this morning here on the East Coast. Chris Martinez reporting from the scene for us. Thank you, Chris. We appreciate it. We'll check back in with you a little later.
Sure.
All right, let's go back to Officer Bill Stanton. He's a former NYPD officer. He's joining us on the telephone to talk about this. Bill, you just heard from our reporter, Chris Martinez, there that other federal law departments and agencies.
Absolutely. The feds have resources and technologies that local police departments do not have. And, they coordinate, and it's more times than not working hand in glove, slight overlap. And they each strengthen each other by way of gathering intelligence, looking at the perpetrator's electronic footprint, going into his phones, his computers, canvassing the area, neighbors, etc. And
for officers, they're in a reactive position, which is not the way that you want to enter a building like that. Is there sort of a checklist of things that you go through, a mental checklist? You walk into this building, there's gunfire. We don't know if the officer had any sort of familiarity with the bar, if he knew the lay of the land. But in those first, 30 seconds that you're in there, what's going through an officer's mind?
Well, you default to your training.
Let me stop for a minute. Excuse me, I'm eating cereal. I'm in agreement. I forgot who I seen. I was reading something. They got convenient amnesia. They don't know shit. That was us. They would know everything. Have us plastered up there. First thing they do is go to social media, see if we got a Facebook, if we got a Twitter, if we got an Instagram. This person most likely had their phone on them. They got their car there and everything. But they're going to milk it for all it's worth. and they don't want to put them up there. I did a video a couple of months ago where this old ass white man had went up. Remember, these two cops got killed. One was black and one I think was Mexican or something. And they were eating and he just killed them, right? And it was an old white guy. And so I'm waiting to, I'm giving y'all a story and I'm thinking the next day I'll do an update and y'all can see what he looked like. I found a little article and they said, well, we do have photos of him, but they really old from the 70s because he don't look the same. They got so irritated. A day or so later, another article popped up because the reporters and everything, they're asking, we need his picture. They said, we ain't giving you no picture. Okay, this motherfucker killed two of your cops. I thought that they were a family. They cared about each other. That's how they fully protecting each other in this war. Even though that he made them look bad, they still, check it out. Those cops were cops of colors. They could give a fuck about them. They was more concerned about the man who killed those cops. That's what they do in this war. And that's exactly what they're supposed to do. See, we are fair. We are a fair and balanced people. And we have for a long time have demonstrated that we can operate being fair. They already know this about us. And we're gonna have to learn to get gangster. But getting gangster, but thinking it through. You don't want to be a guns a-blazing and everything. That goes back to the art of war, because ultimately what you're doing is you're transmitting energy back to the enemy, and you get in that enemy's psyche where in their imagination, they are so tripped out about you, they literally physically feel like they are getting their ass kicked. We have the ability to get into their psyche, but the problem that we deal with, because of being beat down, because of being stripped of everything and stuff, that we were always, even to as I speak, put in a constant state of survival. So you don't know what beautiful divine gifts you have. But I'm telling you something I have done. I'm telling you something I know. I can throw energy at the enemy and trust and believe that motherfucker gonna have an accident. Because when I used to work, that's what I would do. They would slip, fall, wreck a truck, and all of that and stuff. I would think in my head how that motherfucker wanted to be fucked up. So you got to get in the enemy psyche. Some of us work on these plantations, work in offices and shit. And I know y'all be dealing with all type of shit like that. You're gonna have to get ruthless. Because you got to get your coins and eat. And a lot of these motherfuckers come to these jobs like they playing in the sand pit. Because the reason why they fuck with you in these jobs, because they feel safe to do it, because they know that the job is going to back them up. And you got to deal with them in such a way, because we can switch up hats. Like, I don't give a fuck about this job. All I give a fuck about is taking a chunk out of your ass. I'm serious. I'm real serious about this shit. I'm sick of these motherfuckers messing with my family, killing my family, subjugating my family, and we sitting up here being weak-willed. But I would never advocate for my family to go a guns a-blazing. We don't have no army. We don't have no army like that. But we do got something very beautiful and divine. We just got to know how to use it. And the only way we're going to be able to use it, we're going to have to come back to each other and drop this knowledge on each other, because we all, again, got a piece of the puzzle. You're chosen. You got anything to say before I start this video up again?
Royal Queen just hit the nail on the head. They got the infrastructure behind them, but yet they're losing. Now, I want to go back to what you said a lot earlier when it came to the police. There was a provision in 2009 under Obama there was this term called fusion centers where the police and military are working with each other. And of course, we all see today they're militarizing the police, obviously, to take us down. That is the real reason, even though the media doesn't see anything about it.
Right. Okay, let's.
I mean, they got the whole infrastructure behind them, but yet the persons that put them in one hand, they got the banking system, they got all this, they got the education system, they got all of this, military, everything. Yet they're still losing. So what does that tell you about us? We are special. You need to know that.
That's true. That's true. And don't worry about, it's like, because you always got somebody gonna run back to the enemy and tell what we're doing. Don't worry about it. Like I said, the way I'm getting down is I'll write on paper what I'm gonna do to you and hand it to you and do it anyway. Don't give a fuck. See, that gets in their psyche where it's like, damn, they didn't wrote down what they gonna do to me and they doing it. See, then they look at you crazy. And the only time they call you crazy is when they didn't fuck with you and fuck with you. You know how they like to fuck with us at work? And nothing works. Everybody taking a turn. I learned this from my father. See, behind the scenes, they brag about how good they can handle, unquote, niggas. And my father had an incident at work. We went through 4 or 5 white guys. They was trying to control my father. Nothing would work because they call themselves they gonna break him. And my father was very difficult to deal with. After all was said and done, they label you crazy because they don't know what to do with you. Never forget that. That's what that and they fear that shit because you got to be fearless, but you got to really tap into your divine gifts and do a lot of thinking. Because I be hearing people being very irresponsible, and some people you can persuade them or they can be somewhat gullible and they will do as you say, because some people look at us like we are unquote stars on YouTube. Now I'm not going to degrade myself or anything like that. Y'all know where I'm coming from. They didn't got their 15 minutes of fame. They didn't forgot how to talk to the family. They talking down to the family. They beefing with people on YouTube all the time, and they making up videos about drama and they redirecting energy. I have no right to redirect your energy. Your energy, your time is beautiful and divine. You are royalty. I'm going to keep saying it till I can't say it no more. We are not supposed to be mingling with peasants. We are peculiar. We are royal. So we stand away and stuff. And we are, and people say, oh, I'm not trying to act like I'm better than. Oh, yes, I am. I'm superior. I'm trying in my intentions. So that's degrading. And I'm not going to put up with that. Yeah, you are better than them. You'll see the most drugged out, stank ass white person, and they'll still try to exercise white supremacy. It happened to me in San Francisco when I was still living in the hate. White man, homeless, get pissed off at me because I didn't park the car on the street to take the groceries out. It's like you just go in the driveway. And he homeless. I chased his ass up the street with a hammer. I was gonna fuck him up. You don't talk to me. You don't fuck with me. See, I can feel I can feel our ancestors. I can feel our pain. And you know what? I want to stay in a state of pain. I want to feel this shit. I don't like it because when I feel it, it keeps me where I'm supposed to be. And that's what these coons are doing. They living on borrowed time. But once you decide to coon out, you walking fucking dead, because trust and believe you can't come back. And again, what did they do in Haiti when King Wade showed that documentary? The first thing that they did in Haiti was they went after the traitors, the backstabbers, and the motherfucking coons.
And Roy Coyne, you just hit on something real deep. This is exactly what the father's gonna do when he rescues 1/3 and destroys the 2/3. Destroy the backpackers and spoons who turned this back on him.
You're right. So let's see what else they crying about.
And
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say what you gotta say.
I just because I could relate a little bit when the enemy tried to break me down first when I was 9 years old, and then when I flew out to California, they tried to destroy me through the drugs. So I know a thing or two about them trying to break me. You know what I mean, Royal Queen?
I know you didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. All right, let's hear what else they got to say.
As a police officer, you get a certain amount of training, and then
That's remarkable to hear a survivor of a mass shooting say that he's a survivor of another mass
Yeah,
shooting.
it's an odd coincidence, but just to remind everybody that the Las Vegas shooting happened at a country music concert, and this was a country music, it was country college night at the bar. So a terrible coincidence for him and everyone else, but that might have been sort of the common thread there.
Yeah, for sure. Joining us now is Captain Brian McGrath of the Ventura County Fire Department. He was one of the first responders who arrived on the scene there. Captain, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's extremely busy today for you. Just describe the scene that you came upon when the mass shooting began to occur.
Well, I wasn't the first responder to get on scene, but when our apparatus got on scene, they quickly identified an area of safety that they could go to, while the sheriff's officers and the deputies on scene were able to secure the scene.
So, usually the fire department, they're the first on the scene when there's a 911 call. You often get there ahead of ambulances. What sort of injuries did you see?
Like I said, I was not the one that was first going in. So I haven't had a chance to talk to the personnel that went right in.
Captain, we noticed in some of the video, I don't know if you can answer this question or not, a lot of people without their shirts on. Do you know if people were, getting involved, taking off the shirts to turn their shirts into tourniquets or trying to help out?
That's what our general feeling is, but right now we can't answer that for sure. We do know that some people had to break windows in order to get out. One gentleman said he had to wrap his hands to break the window so he can get out, so that was also a part of it.
Captain, we understand from Sheriff Jeff Dean that several people went to different area hospitals. How many hospitals are in the area that somebody could get to with reasonably short amount of time?
Well, as of right now, we had 3 hospitals that were impacted, with 23 people that walked into the different hospitals within the area.
Okay. And do you know the nature of their injuries at all?
They were all relatively minor injuries. So they were able to self-extricate and walk away from the scene. Some got into vehicles and drove to surrounding cities to get to those hospitals.
And what's happening at
there go one.
now?
Look at it. Go Coon. There go Coon. Run, nigga, run.
Maybe you know better than us. We don't know whether or not he killed himself, but what's happening there now?
Right now, we created a family center for any family and friends to go to, so we can collect anybody that has a possible missing family or loved one. And they are meeting in one location away from where the actual incident is. At the incident, we are assisting law enforcement with any logistical needs they need.
All right.
Fireside
You ain't talking about nothing.
is winding
You see
down.
you see that big coon running?
Hey, look at that fool. What they doing with a gun, you fool? And when they unleash the trouble, they gonna take that gun from you, fool. Take off that damn uniform, fool.
I want to say something real quick. Casey Nelson, I'm glad that you mentioned that because it was on my mind yesterday. Every year on the True Royal Family, I do a few videos about the flu, and I always do one live. And when I did one live last year, we listened to a video together about all the poison that they put in those flu shots and stuff. And we're going to go the holistic route where we build up our immune system. I'm going to pull all my supplements out to show y'all what we take. So it's certain things that I repeat. That's like, y'all know, I'm gonna let y'all know about retrograde, and there's no need to worry. But I did find out some new stuff about the flu. In fact, yesterday when 2 days ago when I was talking to my doctor, so I haven't lost sight of that. Y'all may not hear me say anything, but it was like with when we did the hangout on me and Lisa's channel about Black Junction. I didn't even know the brother took the video down. He put it up and he took it down. But it's like it's so much to be going on, and I try earnestly to address people, but the channel is growing and a lot of energy is coming, and it's a small channel. So I don't want anybody to feel slighted, but those things do stay on my head. I don't want us to get the flu. I don't want our royal babies to get the flu, and just reminding each other the things that we need to get and stuff. So anyhow, that's all I have to say about that. Let me see what else I can find, and then eventually we'll get off of here. You have anything to add, KD?
The thing about the medicine and everything, we all know what the enemy's doing. And the very thing you just talked about, I knew of that way back to 2010. So they've been poisoning us all this entire time, even way before then. That's a part of the show too. It's
Yeah.
us out through their medicine.
Well, they so want to get us so bad, they willing to poison their own to get at us. Ain't that ironic?
Oh yes, I mean their ultimate goal is to take us out through any means necessary with the whole Malcolm X quote, even though they hate Malcolm X,
So we know that that we will be hearing a lot about this. Some of these events that happen in the world, and they got to talk about it for over and over and over and over. It wears me out. I'll just shut down. I don't want to watch the news or nothing. I just, now, we're going to make it more than what it is. You're tired of hearing that shit. And then all of a sudden their pain becomes more important than anybody else's pain. And I always talk about pain. Nobody's pain is greater than anybody else's pain. Pain is pain. Fuck. But when it comes to Esau, oh, we're supposed to babysit them and everything. That what's a trip about them is it's like during 9/11. I said to my husband, when that 9/11 shit happened, I always ask black folks, how was white folks acting? They said it was spooked. They was really spooked, and their confidence went in the tank. It really did. I mean, this creature, y'all just don't know how quickly they can fold. I mean, some of y'all do. It's something else. It's something I want to play here. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Let me see what they're going to say on here. So this is an update. Mass shooting at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks leave 13 dead, including gunmen. Damn, she all dressed hooched out. Wow.
It can be several hours.
Okay. And I've been here for several hours with you and your fellow deputies, and you guys are still working despite losing Sergeant Helis. How are you doing right now?
I'm still working through them. It's hard for everybody.
Did you know Sergeant Helis? Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. But you guys obviously have a job to do, and you're trying to help. What keeps you going at a time like this?
You know what? Members of the public, conserved loved ones, we're just here. We're just trying to make sure that everybody is established. Everybody gets the comfort and care that they need and the answers right now.
And right now, when it comes to the scene, your guys are also still out there. What is it you're trying to do at the scene when it comes to witnesses? Because you still have a lot of people out there, right?
We do. We have multi-agencies there, members of the FBI, the sheriff's office, investigating right now. And like I said, it's...
Okay, I got to stop this shit for a minute, KD. I'm about to lose it. The reporter crying. They all up in their feelings now. You see that shit, my royal family? The reporter, she all up in her feelings. She crying and shit. That's all we see. Look at this. She got to give him a hug. She all, you know, y'all see these fucking shootings all the fucking time, man. You know? This is the shit that get on my nerves.
I don't remember them hugging up. I don't remember them hugging up, but they always got to hug they fucking own.
Look at this shit. Listen to her. Listen for a second.
Brandy, thank you.
Oh, she off of there. They all
difficult all around.
And to think they know, the sheriff's deputies now know, but there are 11 families who might not yet. This is all special coverage this morning. We are at 4:43. ABC 7 Eyewitness News has been on the air since 11:20 last night when we first received word of this. And if you're just waking up, you may have set your alarm clock. It's very possible people are waking up and they didn't know. So let's tell you what's happened. This happened at the Borderline Bar and Grill last night. It is in Thousand Oaks. A gunman walked in and just simply began shooting. No witnesses have heard him say anything. No one we've talked to has said he said anything. We've had him identified as a large man, maybe 6'2", and there were very vivid descriptions of him, but mostly of a silhouette. So we're not trying to conjecture any motive or anything, because right now we just simply don't have a motive. But the shooting began around 11:20.
They're so full of shit. Do you hear that bullshit? You got the fucking motherfucking reporter crying and shit, and then you can't identify him. Just a large man in a motherfucking silhouette. It's a white boy. Keep it core. You see how they real selective with their shit? Now, we see this country is violent, you know, and we get the brunt of the violence. So now, all of a sudden, now it's time for motherfucking tears.
Well, come on, Rob. This is how they got the damn country. I mean, think about it. They got the country through violence, robbing and pillaging and everything. But like I said, fuck their tears.
Talking about a large silhouette, the motherfucker is dead. They know exactly who he is. They know exactly who that is dead. And trust and believe, these newscasters, they got that information. A large silhouette. It just gonna kill you to say that Billy Bob then pulled that motherfucking gun out again and shot at your people. It's killing them. You know, the reporter sitting up here crying and shit like that. These people have selective outrage. They selective, and they make it more than what it is. And it's like, oh, now it's all about our pain and all of this. Everybody experienced this type of shit. I can't sympathize. I can't simply sympathize because in the news, they're very biased. That's just like that teacher having to fight that student. They want to show certain frames of it and shit. You know, they don't want to play the part where he didn't threw a basketball at him. They don't want to play the part where he didn't call him a sack full of niggas and stuff. And they orchestrate this shit. They orchestrate this. They spoon feed you.
This is their media. The media, bro. And I just want to reference Jeremiah 49:10. They can sit there and have selective amnesia all they want, but the Most High, the Father, is exposing them in return. But the blind hand is at work every time they have selective amnesia.
Yeah. So that's just something else. I can't get past how these people are acting. You crying and all that. That bitch, I would fire her. She worked for my news station. I fire her. You ain't being professional. You keep your motherfucking feelings out of it. You report your story. But we need to see this. We really do. Let's hear what they got to say real quick. I'm ranting and raving. I got fired up again.
To the rafters. I want to bring in Captain Garigio real quick to talk about the latest on the investigation. A massive scene behind us. It's going to be a long time before we have some real answers, it sounds like.
It's going to take some time. We're going to be meticulous as we go through it to make sure we don't miss anything. This is something that is absolutely tragic, and we want to make sure that we get as much information as we can to find out what motivated this madman.
Do we have any information on the suspect, any kind of identification?
Not at this point, but I can guarantee you that that is our priority one, to identify him and to try to work to see what motivated him to do such a senseless act.
12 people killed, including your sergeant. Have all the families been notified?
I'm not sure if they've all been notified, and I don't know about the victims all being identified to make those notifications at this point.
Can you tell us about the sergeant, a 29-year veteran? He's a hero tonight.
He's absolutely a hero. He leaves behind a wife and a son. He was a 54-year-old resident of Moore Park, and he epitomized what a cop does. He's a cop's cop. When he heard the gunfire, he ran in. He ran in and no doubt saved others from being victimized. As a matter of fact, earlier, a young man that was inside the nightclub came up to me and said, "You know what? He saved additional people from being victims," and that's what cops do. That's what he did.
A 29-year veteran. Talk about the tactics after the Parkland shooting in Florida. A lot of people questioning police, saying they didn't move in fast enough. It doesn't sound like the sergeant hesitated at all.
He didn't hesitate at all. He arrived on scene a couple minutes after receiving the call, and then shortly after arriving on scene, a couple minutes after that, he was inside the nightclub attempting to prevent others from being victimized. He went in with a CHP officer that went in with him, and immediately met gunfire when he went inside.
Can you describe the scene in there? The sheriff said horrific. I mean,
it's absolutely horrific. If you could imagine, there are young people having a good time on a Wednesday night at a bar they've probably been to many times in Thousand Oaks, one of the safest cities in the United States, and something like this happens. We're trying to make sense out of this senseless. This is absolutely tragic.
In terms of a timeline between when the first shots are fired and when it was finally over, how much time are we talking about?
So what I can tell you is we received the call at about 11:19, and a couple minutes later, our deputies arrived on scene. Sergeant Helis was on scene first. After that, 2 or 3 minutes after that, he was. So we received the call till the time he was inside, about 6 minutes.
And then SWAT showed up. And when you had the scene secure, what was the timeline between first shots and scene secure? Can you give a sense of that?
I would say it's 15 minutes, 20 minutes. We had SWAT teams from the Ventura County Sheriff's Office, the Ventura Police Department, Simi Valley, Oxnard, all working collectively together. And the first officers on scene were actually CHP. We worked seamlessly as law enforcement, not the color of our uniform or the badge we wear.
All right, Captain, thanks so much for talking to us and sharing what you could. A lot of questions. Again, 11 people dead. The sergeant.
I'm not going to play no more of that because we're going to hear the same scenario all week, my royal family. Just wanted to share that. And this is a pretty good hangout. Because we seeing up here the game that they playing is killing them to have to say that's a white man that did that shit. So he just a large silhouette. And I heard off of one of those victims in there, he said he was either Mexican or white, and he had on a trench coat and a hat and stuff. And when I was doing my research, before I came on, I was doing a little bit of research on that. And what was that I had found out? Because there was some stuff that they found. Yeah, okay. They were saying, damn, I can't remember. You know what? I don't want to mess that up. I don't want to mess it up. But the main driving thing is I'm looking at how they reacting. And then how now they want to rear community. And this is where they use us. This is where we need to dial back. Because they drawing off of our energy. Y'all do that shit on your own. You know what I'm saying? We done did enough of that. We thinking, oh, we'll come in and show compassion because they are victims of violence and all that kind of stuff like that. And you patting them on the back and hugging them and all that. And you think you friends with these people. What did the good book tell you? That sums it up there for me. This really, is something else. Anyway, Katie, you got anything to add?
It goes right back to the third word in Micah 2:10. After the word, arise and ye. We're supposed to depart from the system. John 18:36 tells us to not be in this world, but yet we're in the world, but not of the world.
Correct. And many of us been giving predictions and all of that, and this solidify our children don't need to be in their schools. All they do is fuck with them and fuck over them. And Becky has had full range to violate our royal sons and daughters and stuff. So we're knowing the nature, because one thing that I say is, if you stay on a platform long enough, things will be revealed about yourself. And have any of y'all, supported somebody's channel, you think they cool, and as they channel grow, seem like their head grow with it, and you would think they didn't some big mega star. So it's like the ultimate message, what I'm trying to give is, which we are good at, to be observant, of these people. These people is dangerous. When you know how your demise is coming and your ending is coming, it changes the way you think, because it's natural. Even the most rotten person think about, okay, I'm gonna take the grandkids, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and all that kind of stuff like that. And what's interesting to me about the enemy, they'll hang with their family and all that, and they have no problem going around the corner from their house, blowing your brains out, come home, wash their hands up, and kick it with their family. That I never understood that about them, but goes back to my father said to me, he said, they don't think like us. They just simply don't. So I'm just rambling on and on and on. And so I'm not gonna play any music, but I would ask KD, would he graciously close us out with prayer?
Our great Father, the Most High, Yahweh, I pray in your name that we gathered this morning to witness the enemy falling down as you prophesied over and over. And that's exactly what we're witnessing right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to gather the royal family together so we can see finally the fall and collapse of the enemy as you predicted and prophesied over and over again. Because we all know through Isaiah 45 and 7, you run the entire situation, you run the entire system. And I would like to thank you for that, and on behalf of the entire royal family, for gathering us together to finally witness the collapse of the enemy once and for all. In the name of the Father, Yahweh. Amen.
Amen. So I appreciate the donations. I graciously appreciate that. I appreciate the support from the royal family. And I was saying the other day that I'm a very serious person, and I can be even too intense. So it's good for us to laugh too, because laughing in our pain is also healing too as well. It's some amazing times to really live in, where we're finally starting to see the end come near. It's just amazing, And it's a trip. I be reading people's comments all through YouTube, and I read a comment on Lisa's channel a few months ago, and the sister was saying something about things are so bad. I'm just ready for it to end, because it's not gonna be pretty how it's gonna end. I've been watching I watched a few videos a few months ago where this Chinese girl and this brother, and they lived in different parts of the world. She over in her country, over here in America, and this brother got to get a glimpse of the Judgment Day. And after he went through that journey, he said he crawled up under his kitchen table and just sat there for hours. And then this little Chinese girl, when she talks about when the wrath come, she just can't control herself. And I'm like, damn, and so I was tripping off of how they were reacting, in that the enemy is so diabolical and so damn evil to us, We rather be in hell to deal with them. They are tyrant. They are literally a tyrant, and they're not tame in their behavior. And some of us get confused with the act of kindness, you know, and this is where we have a greater responsibility that we are pulling away from the system, not partaking in the system, but in turn, we are also withholding our royal energy. And that's what the enemy been successful at doing, is draining us, literally. And another thing is when money is involved, and it's just something that's just kicking in my head. I'm kind of rambling on and on and on. A person will try to control you with money. They can be free with it, but remember, it's like, what is the motive behind that? You know? And that's how I look at these politicians. What is your motive? I already talked to them. Anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. Katie, I'm gonna get on off of here because I done got sleepy and I need to go lay my behind down. I'm rambling, but I do appreciate. I do. Oh, I have a question to ask you real quick before I get off of here. You know, we're gonna do that part 2 about Candace Owens. What would be what is Sunday is the best day for you?
Yes.
Always Sunday. Okay, no problem. What I'm gonna do is when we do part 2, I'm gonna start it a little bit earlier. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we're gonna do this Sunday part 2. Have a hangout about Candace Owens, and I thought it would be better when me and Katie talked even more behind the scenes to see how she's going to continue to conduct herself even after the elections. And so if y'all find anything, there's something I may have missed, please just email it to me. But I got some shit on this bitch's ass. She's something else. That's all I can say. So just putting that out there. Oh, and one more thing, KD, would you at least say hi to people in the comment box? KD does have a channel. He got a powerful channel too, and we need to show him some love over there. You know, he's always coming over here, but you know, your channel, KD, you can minister to a lot of our royals coming up, and then you having it so rough, you can identify with their pain without them having to explain. You know, just something that I wanted to put out there. And and then, you know, it's like we need all type of varieties out here. Because maybe somebody don't want to listen to me. You know what I'm saying? They want to, you know, they want to talk to a brother. You know, men's got to have a men's meeting, and women's got to do things too as well. Oh, and another announcement I wanted to make. KD knows about it. We are eventually we're going to have our own blog talk radio where we're gonna get completely off the grid, and people will be able to call into the show. Sometimes we'll do shows together, or we'll do individual shows. But what we'll be doing on our channels is, like, if KD wants to do a show on the blog talk, we'll announce it on my channel, and people will go over there, and that also helps build up his platform. We're not in competition with each other. That's why I was saying, like, the money that I received, money has been given to other YouTubers that, you know, need a little help to get a better recording device and stuff like that. I'm not going to be a slave to YouTube for a coin, and there's many of them out here that they know how the enemy get down but they then became a slave to YouTube, and at the expense of the royal family, the most easiest thing you can do is bash a black man, bash him, and you're doing the enemy's you're doing the work for the enemy in this war. That's what we're doing. So anyway, just something to think about. Let me get on off of here because I'm getting sleepy. So anyway, my royal family, I thank you for your love. I thank you for your support. And with that said, Ashe.